Hello, everyone, and welcome to my weekly outlook. Hopefully, everyone's had a great trading week. Let's get right into it. All right, let's first talk about oil. So, oil had a pretty choppy week. Um, it didn't really do too much. Um, let's talk about it day by day. So, on Monday, it kind of had a nothing day, followed by Tuesday, and it showed signs of selling off on Wednesday, but again, the choppiness continued and it just kept moving around with nothing really that would interest me. So, if I look at oil just at the outset, I can see a definite bull flag. Let me just draw that. So, there's a definite bull flag here. All it needs to do is just break this entire area of consolidation. Once that happens, the crude could really go much higher. What's the most interesting part about this entire chart is the weekly chart. Let me switch to the weekly right now. So we have a very interesting setup here. Again, we have that Marubozu, the power bar right here, where it gave a really good move. This was because of what happened when the OPEC announced their oil cuts. After that, we saw it move higher, and then it's just been chopping around. But what's important here is that it's stayed in this range, and the base of all these candles are right at the resistance which exists here. Let me just draw a neater line there. So the base of all these tails lies right at the resistance, which is to me suggests a bullish continuation. So what I expect here is for this to move higher at least towards the 62 area, that is somewhere here. Um, so this is where oil could end up going to. And one more interesting thing that's there in the chart is these two inside bars. So what this suggests is a really tight chart, a very tight chart. If I switch to the 5 hour, I'll be able to show it better. So we can see this tight wedge formation happening right here. It's really tight wedge formation happening since quite some time. And there's going to be a move in oil only once it breaks the wedge either higher or lower. Either ways, we should definitely expect some move. What I think is if it breaks higher, it has just so much more room to go. But if it breaks lower, we could just see about $47.5. Not too much actually for a move. So a break higher would suggest something of a bullish continuation, and would just suggest the underlying strength that is there in oil recently. So my idea for the week would probably be to go long once it breaks the 56.5 area. Let me switch back. Once it breaks this area on the wedge, my idea would be to go long, and I would put my stops here. So that gives me about a $2 stop, and my target for this entire trade would be somewhere here. So I would book right through here. I would start booking when oil reaches here, and I'll just keep booking till it reaches this point, and make sure I'm out for any sudden correction. So that's my trade idea of next week, and this is one trade where you really don't want to miss this trade because you don't see trades like this very often. So I hope you guys think the same too. I'm really liking what oil is doing right now, and I really like the chart, and I'm just hoping it follows what my expectations are. All right, coming to gold now. So gold had a relatively weaker week where it sold off pretty much the entire week. If you go back to last week and hear what I had suggested, I'd spoken about gold putting in this spinning top doji and a possible sell-off happening after that. So let me just add the moving averages here to show you guys better what's happening. So gold is slightly extended on the weekly chart after this NR7, which broke to the upside. It's shown relative strength, but again now it's just sold off. So there could be two things happening here. One is it could catch up with the moving averages and bounce off its support near the 1160 area. And the second thing that could happen is it could just keep continuing selling off. What is important here is this region. If gold breaks the 1120 area, we could easily see it propel towards $1,000. We could see it come back to this area, this entire resistance which was there, which could act as support now. So it's really critical for gold to hold this area well. In case gold is not able to hold this and this area, we could see just further downside, so which is slightly worrying. For the week, which is coming up, I'd say gold closed pretty weak overall, and it could just continue moving lower. And I don't really see any respite this week as well. I see another bearish week that could come in. But what's really important is the numbers, the jobs numbers that are coming in on Friday next week. That could really decide the direction of gold for the coming 2 weeks. And it also provides a good insight on what could happen with the Fed interest rate hike, which is going to happen pretty soon. So my trade idea for gold last week was to go short once it had broken the 1195 area. I'd say whoever short should probably just hold it and give it to the higher, or if you want stock that's slightly of lesser risk, you could just give it to this point, that is the 1200 area. In case you're not short, in case you're looking to go long, I'd say just wait for it to break 1120. And if you're a much longer term trader, there's this level which you have to watch out for. So this entire trend line suggests gold is still in a downtrend, and if you look at the chart, we could also see a possible head and shoulder building up, with the head here and these as the shoulders, with the neckline right here. So we'll have to see what exactly happens from here. It's really critical how gold trades in the next couple of weeks, because that could pretty much decide the direction gold is going to head for the first quarter of 2017. So let's see what exactly happens with gold. We've seen the Dow hitting 20,000. We've seen the S&P 500 hitting 2,300. They've been extremely strong. We've seen slightly an ease off in terms of the dollar index, but things that usually could propel gold higher are a slightly concern, or a slightly weak economy, which doesn't really seem to be happening anytime in the near future. So again, really critical couple of weeks coming up for gold. We'll have to see what happens, and in case it breaks the 1120 area, we could really see it move towards $1,000, which I would feel is a really good value bet. Buying at $1,000 would be a really good value bet in gold. So let's see what exactly happens over the next couple of weeks. All right, let's talk about silver now. So silver again had a relatively choppy week where it sold off on Tuesday, and it gained that strength back on Friday. So silver's got this resistance area near the 17.3 area, So if I just zoom out a little and I just draw a trend line, we can see that this is pretty much the spot silver needs to break. So the setup here is really attractive. Again, last week I had suggested that silver could see a choppy week, and this trade probably wouldn't trigger until probably the first week of February. So we're almost ready for this trade to go. I really like the setup here. I'll share the couple of reasons why I like the setup. Number one is just this entire resistance area, um, which seems to be just holding so well. So break here would probably mean a movement towards the $19 region. So this would be my target 1 for silver, this would be my target 2 for silver, and this would be my target 3 for silver. So in case it breaks here, I see a really good opportunity to buy. But what's also interesting is the monthly chart. So we've seen 6 consecutive months lower. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we've seen this sort of an engulfing bullish candle. Not a perfect engulfing bullish candle, but almost. Um, so this is suggesting silver's ended its move lower. And for people who like to trade and take longer term trades, what I had suggested earlier was to buy once it breaks this 17.3 area and hold it towards $26. So that trade is again still intact. So I would say I have these couple of ideas in crude oil and silver for this week, and charts like these don't really come along very often. For me, crude oil would probably be my trade of the month, and silver again is really attractive to me. And the crucial thing about silver again is the jobs numbers that are coming out this week on Friday. So we'll have to see what happens there. But I'm definitely going to go long once silver breaks the 17.3, 17.35 area, because it looks pretty good to go now. So let's see what happens this week, and hoping everyone has a great trading week.